Damn, welcome back Unonight, and with Catherine's banner releasing soon, a lot of you gamers have been asking me if it's even worth going like probably 80 pulls or anything for Catherine. Now, I feel like you should probably hear it from me just because Catherine is currently my favorite unit in the game. Honestly, tied with Haru, because if you've seen the illustrations for Haru, bro, oh my god, bro. I need her origin, man. Like, that's all I'm gonna say. So after recording this video, I decided to just make like a short answer. The short answer is no, you don't need her, and look, we'll literally do an Eternal versus Epic plus Catherine for comparison. The thing why you don't really need her is because she already has lots of straight multipliers that are fixed, such as this extra 1000 mana, this invincibility, and these resistances, right? Now the only thing that will really change is from the heals from from her artifact, this and this. Now if you just use her main as comparison, you will literally only get an extra 8000 shield and 6200 healing. Now that would be like what? Like 14k extra like HP to spread across what, like 3 units? Is that really gonna save it? No, because like if you look at the HP of like say my tanks right now, right? Who's a good tank? Oh, Chloe. Like what is 14,000 extra HP for Chloe's like 402,000 HP pool? Literally nothing. So yeah. Obviously, yes, this could save you in the long run, but if you're gonna lose that round anyway, then it's probably just because your DPS units aren't good enough. So no, you would benefit so much more from just pulling and duping out DPS units, especially if you're free to play. If you're a whale, then +5 her, man. Like, I don't see a problem. But for the average player, skip. Like, bro, if this game wants us to pull on units that are already in the premium pull, then they gotta switch up the banners, bro. Like the banner format, like the milestones, like double the rewards or something. I'm not entirely sure what they can do, but then they have to make it more worth it. So it actually becomes like a bear question: should I pull in this banner on like Catherine's banner, or should I pull on upcoming banners instead of units that haven't released yet? Like, it's really not a question right now. Like, there's really no point. So they gotta switch it up, or else it's just an easy skip. So the thing is, Catherine is triple S, and for good reason. What separates her from the other healers is that literally every single one of her skills is a defensive thing, right? So her main purpose is literally keeping your team alive. Now, I've already discussed Catherine so many times and had comparisons with her with other units, but basically, obviously, we don't care about the ultimate, like realistically, right? Oops. Anyways, her main, the nice thing about, okay, so people are confused why this would be a shield, not instead of a heal before 181. The nice thing about this being a shield is because it works with her passive. The thing is, her passive, if a unit is below a certain HP threshold, they do get double resistances of 40%, which is, well, from what I've found so far and tested, this actually is linear, meaning that it factors in all the damage first and then it cuts it by 40%. So that's why resistances are so strong in this game. And the fact that this will keep your unit alive, especially units such as Chloe and other tanks, is just really good, right? It's just really good. Now, the reason why I like that is because shield doesn't actually add HP to your thing, to your units. So the units that do get the shield and are below 35% HP are able to tank extra damage with this 40% resistance up, which is just really bonkers in general. Now at 181, this does do a lot of heals, so you know, it's a good thing. At least you get a shield at the same time, right? So her gameplay switches up a lot. Now the thing I like about this is that at level 3 Agnes Day, you do get mana battery of 1k. Again, it's not a lot, but this is all units, and 26% defense increase. And the nice thing about this is that this actually adds a full screen heal, which is the only thing that Catherine is lacking by herself without her artifact, right? So yeah, this is really good. Now I would want this at least legendary plus, just because there's a lot of heals there. But to be fair, actually nah, yeah, it should be legendary plus onwards. I wouldn't really upgrade her artifact in general, just because the crit rate, crit damage, and you don't really get that many attack and HP. Maybe you'd want to prioritize your other units first, and then once you do get extra stats, I mean artifact stones, then maybe that's when you go for upgrading her artifact. When it comes to Credo, this is kind of what everyone kind of looks at her for, because 130% of attack to the units around her is really good, especially in melee DPS teams. And a lot of the time she's going to keep the tanks alive with this very strong, right? Because this is a HP restoration of 130% attack and she cannot be interrupted while she's doing this, right? As long as it's level 3. So what are the tanks that go with her? Well, pretty much every single tank this game has to offer, but then the problem would be the interactions, right? With Petra, if they're going to be beside each other, Petra will lack her passive buff, and with Claire tends to go to the other side of the enemy team, so you probably won't be able to heal her there. But then Claire will still get those resistances up if she does reach a certain HP threshold, so not completely useless, just works really well together. Adrian, they'll be beside each other almost every single point of the game. Then who do we have up here? Chloe is the perfect tank for what's her name, Catherine, just because they have the same HP threshold for their passive. So at this point, Claire will have 90% resistances, and if you get the artifact 5% physical resistance, and from keepsakes you will get 100% physical resistance. So that is why there is this cheat death mechanic, which is just crazy, bro. Right? So yeah, again, works with Suni and everything, but yeah. So the reason why even after all of this I would not recommend pulling for Catherine is just because with her kit being this overloaded, she doesn't need dupes, if that makes sense, because she doesn't really have crazy multipliers on her attack percent healing, which is not really a big thing, but then she already has lots of base stats as it is. So yeah, she doesn't really need dupes is the thing. Literally, we've seen stages 17 onwards being cleared just with an epic plus Catherine, so no. And if you're a newer player, I still would not recommend it, just because, well, my idea on this has changed a bit. Just because I did realize that you could literally get her off banner, so you will eventually get spooked by her when you do your regular pulls, right? Now I do have Eternal Catherine here in Epic Plus, so people are asking, what if in content such as Champs Arena and Guild Raid you are able to use the same soul, but then obviously you cannot like duplicate them, if that makes sense. Like I won't be able to use this Eternal Catherine again. So basically what I'm trying to say is, what if you can have like 2 different Catherines built? Now the reason for that, the reason why I would still not recommend it is because, again, there are so many other healers in the game already, and I'd rather you just pull Erica straight off her banner than Catherine, right? Just so you have more healers to your arsenal, if that makes sense. Because Catherine works in every single content in this game, it's crazy, but then she doesn't work with every single team, if that makes sense, just because she is a strength unit, meaning she does stay up close to the front line. And sometimes you may want another healer instead, because she's not a perfect unit. She doesn't have a purge. Sorry, well, I mean, you don't really need a purge for a healer, but then she doesn't have a cleanse. And the reason why cleanses are so important is because it removes everything from status ailments to damage over time to status effects like stun, right? So there are lots of these things that maybe Talia can do better at, but then for the most part, Catherine is still one of the best healers we have in the game, if not the best, and my favorite unit. Like, I've literally, if there was a unit I've played the most, it'll probably be Catherine, but even then, yeah. I would not even recommend 80 pulls in this unit. I suggest you skip this banner and just wait for the next unit, save up your Everstones, because the units that are worth you going deep into a banner for are DPS units, because they benefit so much from it and they suck at low ascensions. Like Velana, if you don't have Velana, like Origin onwards, like you would have a hard time. If you don't have, say, she's good. If you don't have a good Mephi, like you'll just struggle in general, right? So yeah, again, save your Everstones to dupe out DPS units. And yeah, that's pretty much it. So if this video was useful to you, then please do consider subscribing and join the Discord, because we chat there often, right? So with that being said, it's been unonight, and I'll see you in the next one.